application is being prepared.
behind closed doors, so we don't have an open view of the signature
But
comparison.
that's kind of our that's the important point. That's our responsibility as election administrators.
Understood.
We can, again, it's a balancing effort. We open it up for transparency in the public, but we can't have anyone who's interested in what we do come disrupt the administration of our election. So it's our job, our responsibility to make those comparisons and make sure that there's accuracy and integrity to the process. That's our job.
But the law also requires that you have the assistance of the public to also ensure that that job is being done. And that's where things are a little bit out of compliance. And I would compare what is happening here to Cook County, where Cook County does comply with the law. And so I think the issue is that maybe things here should move a little bit more in that
What does
direction.
Cook County do?
They have a room that's available for public observation where these procedures occur. So everything is available for
We do not have that room.
Yeah.
Right, and that, again, I'm in complete agreement with everything that Mr. Goff has said, because the issue is that Chicago just does not have that physical ability or perhaps the resources to allow that to occur without disruption. On the other hand, the only thing that's preventing that is the security issues regarding the space where that does happen now. And, I understand I'm not familiar with the parameters that the board has to work with in that regard. So I appreciate those
We
concerns.
appreciate those comments.
But I still feel
Continue to strive.
unresolved. I feel unresolved. I don't understand how you can be having a closed-door comparison of signatures and not an open-door comparison of signatures. And I think that is something that actually you guys have to sit down and figure out, because your procedure isn't correct. It isn't, and you can say that it's urgency of timing, but I would say that each vote is very important.
And that's our job, and that's what we ensure. And it's our job. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's our job.
So then how should we follow this up? Later on today, since we are in such an urgent situation, what would you suggest?
If we can figure out a way to do more, we'll communicate with you. But at this point, it may be what we've got now for the last few days.
So we're at the position where we have to decide if we got to go to court to demand our right to observe, or do we have our right to observe?
I think.
We don't feel like
you
we have our right to observe at this point.
Well, then.
So can we make one more attempt to resolve this today
We'll
before we head to
always
court
make
tomorrow?
another attempt. Yes, we can. But if you.
There's a lot of time constraints
Yeah.
here.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
We're
we're
worried
trying
about
to
it,
deal
too.
with a citywide election.
That's right.
And,
Well-
Mr. Goff, and I mean,
Well, to those concerns again, this was brought before the board 3 weeks ago,
That's right.
and Mr. Goff was in agreement that steps would be taken to make this happen.
I've
And so
been trying
we
ever
have
since,
made
but
steps
we
towards
did.
making that
Just
happen.
not to your full
We're just
satisfaction.
not completely
Yes,
happy
I
with how that's turned out.
we're here a
And
week before
I
the
understand that
election.
the
Yeah.
board can't make everybody happy. If we could
Right.
be a little bit happier over the next 3 days, then that's what we'd like to try to
Gotcha.
accomplish,
Gotcha.
if that's possible.
Well, briefly, we should be able to observe every single signature of the ballot, and that's because that is the lawful right. And so we would like to have the doors open to do that.
And should we extend that right to maybe 1,000 different organizations?
If there were
Well,
1,000
once we
organizations,
give it
The
to
law
you,
requires that the public is available to make that request.
And it's
So in
downstairs
theory,
prepared.
that
They're
is something
doing that
that
downstairs in
the
the
law
lower levels.
states.
To my board members, I have a 10 o'clock meeting that I've been scheduled to attend. I'm speaking at that meeting.
Okay.
I have our little
Well, one final question, and it's a different topic. We don't have any UN observers coming to Chicago, do we? I heard the foreign media, but I'm pretty sure the UN observers that are coming to Illinois are going to be stationed in Springfield.
I've never heard of any UN observers.
And they would not be qualified to be poll watchers because they're not Illinois residents.
No, we're not allowing anybody to do
UN
poll
Not
watchers.
anybody.
No.
I'm getting a lot of emails about this. Everybody wants to know, are the UN observers coming here? And I'm like, I don't think so.
I
can't.
haven't heard
Okay, Mr.
That's
Goff,
the first step for
Thank you.
anything related to that.
And I just want to add before Mr. Goff leaves, thank him for his efforts.
that. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. All right. Anything from the League of Women Voters today?
Well, people at 2801 are still upset about having to go way over to, in fact, at least one man told me he wasn't going to vote when he found out.
Is this a new polling place or is it
Yeah.
early voting?
Prairie Shores, I believe there's now one
Yeah,
building instead of two. There are 4 buildings there, correct me
there are
if I'm wrong?
5 buildings.
5 buildings there,
We've always had at least 2 precincts.
And now we only have one.
and we have
Yeah.
one. But it's in the same complex.
For early voting, or is it?
No, this
No,
is
it's
for election.
Election day, yeah.
This used to be an issue with the people who lived outside Prairie Shores who did not always have access to the, through the gate and had to walk all the way around to the side where there was a drive-in entrance, a driveway entrance. So in the precinct consolidation, what happened there is that now the people who live on the other side of King Drive vote in a different precinct, and all of the buildings are together with the exception of the area just to the south, and that's also part of that precinct. So it was consolidated. We have one building in that complex where that's the polling place for the voters there.
Well, it's a lot more unhandy for us than it was for the people that lived across the street. It really is. I mean, I'm gonna have to take a pace part of it over there. And, I have told several people they'd be welcome to ride with me, but they don't think that they wanna get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get there before 6, so.
Which you do, right, Terry?
Yeah, because they're gonna be poll watching.
So we do not have a polling place in Prairie Shores now? It's-
No, we
Well,
do.
they
We do.
put in one.
But it's
We're,
evidently.
instead of 2 of 5 buildings, we're in 1 of 5 buildings. And I wish you could join us when we go before the county
Yeah.
board, and the one question we got was from a commissioner who said there need to be fewer precincts.
Terry, we struggle with this.
With this,
Yeah, I
we're
know,
under
I know.
pressure to
But
have
on the
fewer
other
precincts.
hand, I am getting an awful lot of feedback on it.
Yes, I'm with you, and
Yeah. Uh,
I can't tell you, our budget has been slashed.
I
and-
know,
and we
and I
continue
tell
to
people
have our
that,
budget
and I tell
and
them how
push us
much it costs to run a
and
precinct.
compare us to the county, and so
Yeah.
we do the, and I hear you. So I guess what we'll do is revisit this after the election, Terry, and see how it worked out, and see whether we need to move it or restore it. I mean, we'll take a look to see how, get feedback from the Prairie Shores community and the
Okay.
local
Well,
officials.
thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
And I must say that in all the years I've been poll watching, I haven't had any problem with people that aren't qualified being allowed to vote. But,
So we would try to remain vigilant.
in fact, it's very seldom that somebody comes in other than being in the wrong precinct. So,
Yeah. Well, and we depend upon the League of Women Voters as one of our partners to monitor everything we do here and have done so. So we appreciate your help.
And I also was a poll watcher for many years for Project Leap,
Yes.
which finally declared victory and went out of business. So,
We're proud of that in a way that we put Project Leap out of business, but we appreciate the fact that they could declare victory. So, all right. Anything else to come before the board? All right, I'll accept a motion to recess until our next regular board meeting, which would be, next day is election day, so we'll meet as a canvassing board on election day and wait till further call of the chair. Moved by Commissioner Cowan, seconded by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.